You calm now? Hi, folks. I'm Bob Shaw, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Because we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, one thing you want to check if you're having hip pain is check your range of motion. So many times a joint that is painful because the range of motion has been limited for one reason or another. And if you can regain that range of motion, the pain oftentimes drops.
Absolutely.
How to test for it, check your range of motion. So if you want to look at range of motion, hip flexion, in other words, knee coming up to your chest. One way is a nice way to do it is lay down on the floor. You could do this in your bed, actually. And you're going to check right knee. You can do right or left knee first, but you're going to bring your knee up towards your chest. You can grab here and pull and see how far it comes up. Now, if it comes way up to here, it's guaranteed that's normal.
Right.
But if it comes up to here and it's tight or it hurts and about right to there, and then you check the other one, and boy, that one comes way up to here. This one only comes to here. Obviously, you have a loss of range of motion. Unless you had a hip injury or if you had a total hip replacement, we're going to ask
you. Can't be doing any of these.
Right. Then you got to see your therapist. The next one is hip extension, or in other words, it's the other direction. And this you do need to be up on a bed. And you can do it off to the side of the bed.
Don't fall off the bed.
Right. So I ask my patients, I say, bring your hips to the edge of the bed, but not your shoulders.
Right. Keep your shoulders on.
So you're kind of at an angle here. And I like to bring this knee up, and you can actually hold it here. I like to keep it here for stability. And then just let this one drop down. And see how you can see the lines on my.
So he's looking at extension. How much is the leg extending downward?
Right. If you drop it down and it's here, you may not know that if you're not a therapist.
Right.
But again, turn over and check the other one. Here, my knee is above it. The other one, it may drop down to here. And like the other direction is going to be figure 4 stretch.
Sure.
Oh, I can do it here. I'm sorry.
You can do it here. You can also do it in a chair.
Yep.
I'll show it on the chair.
So you'll start, I call this the hook line position. You'll start here in your bed, again, around the carpeted floor. I'm going to check my right leg first, my right hip first. Take my right ankle, put it on my left knee like this. And the way you'll know it's tight is if I can bring my knee this direction, I can go that far. Or, some people have a hard time even getting it up to here.
Exactly, even trouble getting it into position.
Okay, I'm going to mention it one more time. If you had a hip replacement, don't do any of these.
Yeah, don't do any of these.
Okay, and then you'll check the other side. So if this side, I can bring my knee to here, and this side, I have a hard time getting it up, or it's there. This side's tighter. I'm going to have to work on that. Bob, do you want to show them on the chair?
Yeah, you can do this on a regular chair. So this is an easy one to see, too, quite often, because it's the same thing. Sometimes people have trouble even getting their leg up there.
Sure.
But you can go up like this, and you can see how high the knee is, how far it goes down. Yep. And then I'm going to do it on the other side. And, yeah, if you're up like this, you're obviously tight. Stretches for pain and also hip strengthening.
Yep. Yeah, you're not going to do them if they create pain, particularly sharp pain. You're going to find out which exercises are tolerated and stretches are tolerated well and make it feel better, and then go from there.
You want movement in the hip, but it should be controlled.
Sure.
And it should be limited to pain-free movements.
Yep. Just grab your foot here. Look at this knee. If it's up here, that's not going to work as well as you pull the knee back.
Pulling way back.
And this one, I like to do the pressure on. Pressure off.
We're working on some rotation of the hip.
Right. And again, this is one of those things. You also get some mobility in the low back. Now you can go both directions as long as it feels comfortable. And as the more you do, if it feels like you can go a little farther each time, that's wonderful.
Do some hip abductors.
Sure. Okay. So I like to put a pillow under my ribs there because it's a little more comfortable. And you're going to work it just like this, bottom leg bent, so you got a little more stability. If you see your toe that's pointed up towards the ceiling, do not do it that way. That's not proper. You're going to be much better off to point your toe like this and have your foot parallel to the floor and work it like this. And you notice I'm not going real fast, although you could. They're a little more aggressive. But I go up and down, good control.
Hip internal rotation.
Sure.
So you put your foot up like this, and you're actually going to bend your foot down like this, your knee down like this, because you're turning your hip in. What that's doing is rotating the femur, which stretches out muscle, and then we call the posterior aspect of the hip.
Pressure in, pressure on, pressure off, pressure on, pressure off. So there's another option. You can go ahead and just stretch the hip off the table here like this. Get to the edge of the table, or the bed, I should say.
Right, you probably don't have a planter
kitchen
table.
So you want to make sure you can have the leg off the edge of the bed, but your shoulders are going to be well onto the bed.
Here, this is driving me nuts. You got
Safety
that color.
first. Safety first. We don't have anybody falling off the bed.
Right.
So you're going to put this off the edge of the bed like this, and actually lift this one up.
Right.
And watch what my leg does. You can see how it comes up a little bit. That's because we're stretching the hip flexor.
Right. So
Like
you got
it's-
gravity doing the work there. Just another option that can be much more comfortable for some people.
If I bend the knee, we're stretching the rectus femoris a little bit. too.
Right. Now this is the one. I've really been finding this one good. Ever since I got a hip issue right now. I think it's my piriformis or my low back. But this windshield wiper exercise is a nice one. I'll go up to whatever position. A stool works kind of good, but it can be wiggly, so you need to be careful.
Yeah.
It's always important to be careful. And we stretch like this, and just a simple knee to the chest or knee to the shoulder, and you're going to hold it there.
And to me, you can really put some torque on that
Oh,
versus
yeah.
if you're lying down on your back and pulling like this. This, you know, you got the weight that's helping you.
I'll usually go 15 seconds. Some people, will go up to 30 seconds. From here, I'll segue right into this. Now, I really like this. It feels really good on my groin muscles. It feels like it's in the
A
capsule.
little external rotation,
Yeah.
basically, right, Brad?
Yeah, and like Kelly Starrett talks about doing this, and
Yeah.
this is what he turned me onto this, right? Look away from it and rotate the body, and you can really feel it at the hip.
You would actually grab the ankle sometimes, too, but when you got the stool, you don't need to.
Yeah, right, right, exactly, and go like this.
Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
Yep. But yeah, with those stools, I got fairly good leverage, and I can go the other direction.
Internal rotation.
Yep. And this is not quite as aggressive, we can roll in like this. And it's all personal. You're going to find different things are better for you. I'm going to use Pete's choice because it's a little nicer, but it doesn't matter. Something that you're comfortable, and then you're going to go like that. Bob can
I'm going to see
demonstrate
if I
it
can do it
here.
up here.
Yep. And
You turn yourself into a pretzel, basically.
Arr.
This really feels good.
yeah, it does. This gets that piriformis muscle, some other hip muscles, as well as the capsule of the hip.
Hurts so good.
Oh, yeah. That's a wonderful stretch. All right. And make sure you do both legs. We're just going to go through on one leg so we don't bore you to death. You may want to go pressure on, pressure off, or you just may want to hold a stretch for up to 30 seconds and do that 3 times. That's going to give you a good, complete stretch.
Now, you could do just the rectus femoris, standing too like this.
Sure. Yep.
And, you maybe even get a little bit of the iliopsoas too.
Right.
Go up against the wall. You're going to be about, I'm about 3 feet away from the wall. It's going to depend on your height. I'm going to lean on my forearm, and I'm going to stretch this one, the right one. So I'm going to cross this one over like that, and then I'm just going to lean like this. I'm going to lean my pelvis into the wall. And so this is one most people can do. I mean, a variation of this is just to go ahead and lean this way
Sure.
and not even cross it over. But I always find it a lot easier. It's more stable and
Right.
it's easier to do. So obviously you'd do both sides too. You'd cross over and go like this too. So you
Good
can
point.
see both angles.
Yeah. And you're going to spend, a minute or two doing that stretch, and you can put the pressure on, pressure off, and work with that. You're going to lay like on your side. So this would be the involved sides. Things are starting to feel better. It's a little calmed down. We want to start strengthening. And we call this the clamshell because it looks like clamshell.
Yep.
So, and you're not going to do them real fast. It's up and then bring them down. And if you can, keep a gap between here. Don't let it touch and rest. Up. And there you got an inch or two in between there. And at about a pace like this, you're going to do 10 to 20 of them. You can do 3 sets of those as long as it's not too much. When that gets too easy, you can see I've got my little loop band right here.
He moves it down.
Yeah, put it down by your knees, and that'll definitely give you
Yeah,
the
now
extra
you're-
resistance
now you're
you
working.
need. Yeah. So you go quadruped, neutral back position, so not arched, not up, right in the middle. Tighten up your core, and simply do straight leg raisers. Like this. Okay? And you could put, if it's too easy to do 10 to 15, put an ankle weight on. And then the next one is, do that on both legs, obviously. The next one is do it with your knee flexed at 90 degrees, and then,
Up to the ceiling.
yep, and do
Kind
10.
of losing your flexion there, Brad. You're going to go right there.
Yeah.
And up.
My proprioception's off because it's
Yeah.
hard for me to tell when I'm at 90.
Right.
Now this next one, you do have to have either a strap or a belt. There was a belt over there, Bob. We could show people how to use a belt if there's a belt available.
Right in the camera.
So I'm going to put the strap on my foot. This really works well, particularly for Chris, who I'm working with, and
Yeah,
a lot
this
of
is
other
probably the
people.
best stretch that you can. I mean, the best stretch you can do with a strap.
Yeah, so you put it on your foot, and now hamstrings are a critical part of the hip.
Sure.
So we're going to stretch hamstrings first, let this leg down, and I'm going to go this way.
Oh,
And this, if you have the strap, it really is not that hard. Because with this strap, I can go in like this. I don't even have to grip very much, and let it go out. And you're going to compare one side to the other. This one stretches both iliopsoas, hip flexors.
And your back a little bit, too.
Right, so you're getting two things.
So, and your hands are underneath your shoulders, and you're keeping your pelvis down. You're not lifting up like this,
Yeah,
otherwise
let me
you're
get
not getting any stretch.
Right.
So you're stretching like this. So again, this is good for the back for most people.
Right.
And it also helps stretch out those hip flexors, which is also good for your back. So
Right,
you're getting two.
you get two in one.
lie down on your back. You can put your arms out to your side if you like to give a little bit of stability. Now you're going to start off by, you're actually going to bring one of the hips straight up into flexion. And then as you get into hip flexion, you're going to go into external rotation like this. And then you start bringing it down. And as soon as you can, you slide the foot along the floor. So hip flexion, external rotation, slide the foot along the floor.
How many repetitions, Bob?
I don't know. I'd probably always start with like 3. You're obviously going to do both sides.
Okay.
Next one, you're going to turn the foot out now this time, slide it up, go into flexion, and bring it down. So you're just reversing what we just did. External rotation, slide it up, bring it over into flexion, and bring it down. Next one, we're going to work on hip internal rotation. So I'm going to take the right leg, and you're actually going to work the hip over into internal rotation. You can actually take the other leg and give it a little stretch if you want.
Yeah, so the one going over the top is actually pulling that
Right.
knee over. I like this one. I get a good stretch
I
on
think
that.
a lot of people can do this even though it's beginner.
Yeah,
If they can't, just do this
yeah,
or work on what it'll give you. You know, the amount of motion that it'll give you.
exactly.
Next one, cross your legs, not feet together like this. Cross your legs,
Yep.
cross at the ankles, and start slide it towards you. Grab the ankles, and then you can pull it towards you.
If you can't get a hold of your ankles, you can go to your knees
Right.
and then start pulling, then work your way down.
Next one, you're actually going to sit up, and we're going to go ahead and put one leg up again, and you're going to work on external rotation and internal rotation. You got to slide your butt around a little bit, just to get into proper position. Very simple one. I want you to do kind of extreme bridging. So you're going to bridge all the way up here and get the hip into extension.
This, to me, is absolutely the most aggressive hip stretch that's really going to...
I like this one.
Yeah, it does both hips, opposite muscle
Hurts
groups.
so good.
It does. So with pigeon pose,
Okay.
it works really well.
Sure.
So you start out quadruped or on your hands and knees like this. Best to be done on a carpeted floor. Wouldn't do it on a bed, although you could if you wanted to try. And you're just going to, now I just slide this knee back, and at the same time I bring this leg forward in what I call the figure 4 position. And I keep sliding back, and I'm getting a nice stretch on my left hip on the external rotators, the piriformis, getting into the capsule. It's a great deep hip stretch on the left. And if I lean forward, now if you're flexible enough, you may be able to get this foot up here like that. I'm not.
Go, Brad.
And then you go forward to make the stretch even more intense. And this is a stretch, I personally am going to hold 15 to 30 seconds and just relax and breathe and listen to some of my favorite music, of course, and relax. And then I'm going to go up this way Now, because my low back doesn't tolerate a lot of extension because of my spondylolisthesis, I'm a little limited, but a lot of people will be able to arch back this way, and you get the opposite hip flexor, the psoas.
Saying, Brad, you don't do this on a hip replacement.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Thank you.
if you have rheumatoid arthritis,
Yeah, yeah.
we don't want a socket that,
Right.
that is loose.
If you got lumbar stenosis, doing this may be uncomfortable,
problem.
and then you're going to have to just do it as tolerated. So you can use a chair, you can go on a countertop, which probably a countertop is good because they're more solid. We don't have one here, so we're
Right.
going to use chairs. And Bob will
What
show
side do
you
you want
what
me?
That's good.
Face this way?
Yep.
Okay.
So you can see the profile of Bob, and you can see my backside, and you're going to stand with good posture. And we're going to work that glute medius muscle. That's the key muscle for this. Posture out and like this. Now watch my foot. If you point your toe like that, you are not doing it right. It has to be pointed straight in front of you and maintain it. And keep it in the air. I always have my patients. I don't let them come back and rest it. Out and back, and it's really easy. Well, then it's time to add some resistance.
Well, make sure you're not dipping, by the way.
Wow,
Sure
good.
that, Brad.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't be doing that. You're keeping the upper body straight
right.
while you're working the hip.
Makes a big difference on getting a good exercise, good
So
quality.
this is not a belt I'm wearing. This is actually one of those exercise loops,
Right.
kind of a stretch band. So I'm just going to take that down a little bit, down to right above the knees.
Yeah.
And you can just work on, you kind of get to that exercise stance.
Right.
A slight bend at the knees, slight bend at the hips. And you're just going to work going side to side like this. And this gives some nice resistance while you're doing that movement.
You can use a cane for a little
If you're
balance.
steady, you can use a cane.
And actually, we like if you have a walking stick, or we use the Booyah stick.
It's a lot better because you can get up in good balance and good posture
Good,
then.
you're right.
I feel a lot more steady with the Booyah stick. You can use any walking stick for doing this.
Right.
But this is a great exercise.
Bob, can you show them just a static
Sure.
resistance?
I'm going to hold on to this
There you go.
like this.
So this is good. He's actually strengthening this hip and
Yeah,
hip
the other one's working too.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize.
Well, it's funny because this one I can actually feel fatiguing.
Sure.
As I'm doing this.
Right, that's the
And
beauty
again,
of
I'm not
this.
dipping like this, keeping it straight. So you were going to show the wall anchor?
Right, if you have bands like this, or you want to get some, these offer a little bit of a different twist on this exercise, which is, I would say, maybe a little easier, gives you a little advantage, and you'll see why. This is a Velcro loop that goes around your ankle. They almost always come with your kits of these bands.
Exercise
Yeah,
bands.
I'm going to use the Booyah stick too. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this exercise. You don't have to have a wall anchor. If you've got a heavy table that doesn't move, you can put the band around the table or whatever to anchor it down. So here I got the other leg. So it's the same exercise, opposite leg. So, and you're going to do these until you feel it fatigue. It may be 10 to 15, 20 repetitions.
You want to show shallow squats.
Okay, so shallow squats, shoulders, make sure the feet shoulder width here, so don't have your feet together, get them out wide, and don't stand straight up, kind of lean back. We're going about down to here, and when you're doing this, beware that you have to have either some footwear that grips to the floor one way or another.
Right, 'cause
when you get down to here and your feet slip out, you'll end up on your bottom side, and then that could be an issue. So make sure you have that. A nice thing that works good with this, if you have a piece of furniture like this, you can put your hand on for some control if you haven't done this before, or a cane or something on both sides can be really helpful.
This is going to be about using a foam roller, by the way, for your hip pain. Definitely something you want to try if you're having hip pain, even if you're younger or older.
Right.
It's something to give a go because you right away you think the worst and you think it's in the joint where it just may be in the muscle.
Sure.
So for the hip, there's some certain muscles you want to hit. You usually want to hit the IT band. You want to hit the glutes. You want to hit, there's a little muscle in there called the piriformis.
Yeah,
Usually you probably get that with the glutes.
And right there on the side in the
Yep.
buttocks there.
You want to get your hamstrings. You want to get the hip flexor.
Okay, so the IT band, the one on the side. Now, then I'm going to go just like this, and I keep this foot down and this hand down, and that's really adjusting how much intensity or force I put on this foam roller. And then you can just roll the way across.
Yeah, how does this feel to you, Brad? Is this too much for you, or is this?
No, this is fine.
Okay.
You know, as long as I'm supporting like this, I'm probably putting 50% of my body weight through it right now, but that's going to vary person to person. And if I want to get down closer to the knee, I'm going to work there, and there I don't have near as much pressure. I'm supporting with my left arm right now quite
And
a
we're
bit.
showing you how you can do this. You don't have to be in workout clothes. You can be in your work clothes.
Right, yeah,
And
you
just
can
jump
you
right
know,
into it.
We're both going to work, so
While I do one now, Brad,
Right.
I'm going to go ahead. This is going to look a little strange. It's going to look a little strange, but it is the hip flexor. Again, it is really important. The hip flexor is right on the front here, right by the groin. Usually what I do, Brad, I actually turn the foam roller a little bit like this.
Yep, a little
And
angle.
that angle gets right there. And so I just go ahead and lay on it right like this, and I work it into that spot. And I find the tender spot. You know, make sure you don't hit the boys.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you know, not everyone has to worry about that.
Yeah, that's right.
But he's getting underneath the pelvic bone. This pointy bone right here is the ASI, as we call that. There's a long name for it. But once you get underneath that, there's softer tissue, and then you have a chance to get to that muscle.
All right, then I go ahead and I do double duty here. I actually try to hit them both at the same time, Brad. I'm in a rush.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead. You can work the buttock here.
Yep. So you're working those glutes.
And you're hitting a little bit. If you want to hit the piriformis, you can get a little more on the side like
Right.
this. Or if I go on this side, I'm getting this one a little more.
Yep. And that, you know, sometimes you'll feel that's a little more, when I do that, I'm a little more sensitive that way.
Sure. And you did the IT band already, but I'm going to roll all right down into the hamstrings. I like to get the high hamstring, the high where it attaches into the ischium. Same with the buttock. I mean, you can go onto one side and cross over and get a little more, intense on that area if you find a spot that hurts.
Right.
You know, you can do this really quite rapidly and do this over the period of a week or two. And I mean, it really made a difference in my hip. Today, we're going to show you how to self-treat pain on the side of your hip. Now, this could be if you're diagnosed with trochanteric bursitis or gluteal tendinopathy. So we got some treatment suggestions.
Sure.
So, suggestion number one, you want to avoid repetitive stress. So, like if you're maybe biking or what would also be repetitive? Probably just
Walking.
running. Yeah. Number two, if you actually have one leg longer than the other, and some of you know this already, you
Sure.
may have been told, you want to correct that because when you have a shorter leg, usually the more stress is on the shorter leg. Easy correction though, so on the short side, you could just take a piece of carpet and cut out in the shape of a heel. And
Yeah, go to your carpet and...
well,
No.
if you have some laying around.
Right,
lying
yeah.
around.
I've used the rubber pads. I put cardboard and
Oh yeah,
put it up on
cardboard.
top
There
when
you go.
You cut it out to put in there, but carpet's
Yeah.
good though, Bob.
I like cardboard because you can do layers then.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can keep layering it up until and then try it. If it feels better, it works, great. If not, forget it.
To take it out, yep.
How to use a massage gun for hip pain. Find tender spots and you work on them. You do not really need to massage any muscle that's not sore or tight. I mean, don't go right over an artery. Like you got a lot of nerve artery and veins right going through the groin.
Right in this area
Yeah.
is where you really need to stay away from. Don't go in there.
And with the muscles, I'd go with the grain.
The grain.
Well, it's called the fibers.
There you go.
And against the grain. So we're going to hit the front. To make it easy on people, you just hit the front, inside, outside, back. That's really, you just want to start hitting all those areas.
So we're going to work on the hip.
Yep.
Yep.
And so you'll hit the buttock because all the muscles of the buttock attach into the hip.
And boy, I can feel it.
I can tell them.
Yeah, getting into that piriformis, and we're going through that big glute and those smaller muscles underneath the gemelli, the piriformis,
Yeah.
the quadratus, the obturatus internus.
Hey, nice.
Wow.
You're hitting the inside.
Now, when I do the adductor, I had an adductor strain, groin strain, same as the adductors. I would do those laying down like this, and that worked out good because I could relax those muscles and get in there. And get the other leg out of the way. But, you do whatever position you can that's comfortable for you and you're relaxed.
Today we're going to show you how to stop these 12 daily habits or your hip pain may never go away. Sitting for a prolonged periods of time, you should really be breaking these up by getting up every so 20 minutes or so and getting movement in the hip.
Right. If you're sitting low like this, or particularly if you're really low
Yeah.
like this,
Look at your knees, how high they are.
Yeah.
That's putting undue stress on the hip. The same with me. The knee is a lot higher than the hip. You're going to be putting a lot of stress on the hip and back, to be honest with you. Sitting uneven. So again, I'm guilty of this. I don't know why I do this, but when I'm at my counter eating breakfast and stuff, I lean on one side. I am reading the paper. I'm doing my puzzle. And I tend, and there's people that also will put one foot underneath them or something like that. Yeah, you
one
do
of
that.
these deals.
Right.
And then it's on your hip, it's not good, and it's not good on your back either to like that prolonged.
Right. What it's going to do is it's going to put excessive pressure on one hip and less pressure on the other, and it may stretch out muscles that can cause a muscle imbalance then. The same thing with standing uneven. So you see that a lot in mothers when they're holding the baby on the hip. But just as a rule of thumb, because one thing usually how you stand uneven is you hyperextend one knee. Do you know what I mean?
Straighten it right
You
out.
straighten it right out, and then you lean onto that side.
Yep.
Standing prolonged too. You want to also give yourself breaks. Try to sit down for a while, and you know what I mean. Mix it up.
Yep.
Right. Walking incorrect because you need a gait aid. So this is a lot of people that Brad and I see. They have weakness in their hip or they have pain in their hip, so they're trying to protect the hip. So they walk like this.
It's one of the points. You're actually going to put the cane in the opposite hand,
Right.
And then you're just going to.
Right, that's one of the, you can jump to the head to that one, Brad. First, if you are really limping or experiencing significant pain when you walk, you really probably should use a cane because you're just making things worse. And a lot of times, we're not saying that you have to use it forever.
Right.
We're saying use it until the pain calms down. Again, butt muscles. How to tell if they're firing when you're walking. So there's a simple way to do this, Brad. You just walk with your hands on your butt, probably in the privacy of your own home.
Yeah.
And when you take a step and hit the ground, you should feel it firing.
In other words, feel it contract. And
Yeah.
Feel that muscle.
And if it feels like mushy and it's not doing anything, you probably haven't been using your glutes like you should. And the thing about the glutes is they actually help hold the hip in the socket, in place.
Stabilizes.
Yeah.
It. Yep.
If it not, it can slide forward and pinch on structures, and it can make it painful. Now, one of the first ways people tend to help fire off their glutes is if you actually take shorter steps. If I take long steps like this, and I'm getting a ground reaction force here coming right up through the hip, and it's putting more stress on my hip. But I'm using more of the hamstrings. And that's what you don't want to use the hamstrings. That can actually make your hip worse.
Sure.
So you're going to want to just shorten your stride. And the thing is, right when you step down, you should not try to hit heel to toe like this. You should try to hit right onto your arch. So you're kind of spreading out the force between the front foot and the back foot at the same time. So when you step, I'm hitting right at the same time, both ends of it, front and the back.
Yeah.
It takes the stress off your legs. They become more like shock absorbers.
Right. Exactly.
So that's the other thing. You can slightly bend your knees when you step on them. Don't be straightening your knee out. Not participating in a walking program. A lot of people have hip pain and they go, I don't want to walk because of my hip hurts. I don't want to make your pain worse, but if you can participate in a walking program, maybe using a cane or
Exactly.
a walker,
Right.
it's going to be so much better for your hip than if you do not. You can sleep incorrectly also, and it can definitely cause hip pain. I know this from personal experience. So first off, you don't want to lie on the painful hip.
Sure.
Whenever possible, you want to lie on the non-painful hip if you have one, or on your back. Now, but the problem is, let's say this is not even a painful hip, but over time you tend to sleep like this, and this is what I used to do.
Yep.
And this stretches this hip out over time, and it actually can start throwing off the muscle imbalance. It can create a muscle imbalance, and you can start developing pain. And I was getting pain here. And so you have to sleep like this, or better yet, is to put a pillow between your legs.
Yep.
They're using a bicycle and the seat was way too low. And so they, they're going like this.
The
and-
knees are coming up above their hip level, which is really low seat.
Yeah, and it's really causing increased stress on their hip.
And the knees.
And the knees, yes, exactly. Some people are just too stationary every day. They need to just disperse movement throughout the day.
Yeah.
It's just that it's really important. Not wearing proper footwear, especially if you like work on concrete or a hard surface, you probably do need maybe a little bit of extra cushioning in your shoe. We don't want you exercising incorrectly either. If you walk, if you're doing walking, we probably want to avoid hills and maybe even stairs to start off with. You might want to avoid running because obviously there's more pounding with running.
Walking on a sidewalk, something flat is by far better.
Yeah, and if you do walk on the camera, it is better to walk one way and then walk on the same side on the way back because you're evening things out a little. And also, you don't want to use incorrect form when exercising. Like, especially, I see one example here when people do squats and their knees start coming in like this.
Sure.
And they're internally rotating. Not that uncommon.
Yeah.
Make sure you have movement in the knees throughout the day.
Right.
Joints do not like to be still. That's why your knees are a lot of times sore in the morning when you get up because they've been sitting still all night long. What we want to do is you can actually, when you're at your desk, you can actually just even swing your leg like this and get a little movement. You can be on a desk like that. Yep, just get a little bit of movement throughout the day.
I've had many patients, I'll say, if you've been sitting at your desk, for a long time and you're going to get up and you have knee pain, do 10, call them runner quads or just kicks on each leg. So you're not doing fast and you want to go all the way straight as much as you can and then get up. And many times it's like, oh yeah, that does feel better. I'm not getting up and having the initial pain.
Right. You got the synovial fluid moving. You got a little blood flow moving. You really want to trial a physical therapy before you do hip or do knee surgery.
We're going to do just a straight leg raise, Brad. This is, now we're getting into strengthening.
Sure.
So we're going to lay down. This is just a good universal strengthening of the knee without really bending the knee and putting stress on the knee. Up. This knee is bent. I'm strengthening this one.
Right.
And you can just go up and hold it for a count of 10. And, after a while, you'll start to feel these.
It looks easy, but you'll be amazed. So you want to keep the knee fully extended here.
And the toe pointing up. Don't go out this way or this way.
Exactly.
And you can do some power ones too, Brad. Finish up with some power ones where you just go up and down.
It's kind of like a plyometric that way,
Yeah.
which is, fancy exercising. And it's important to have this knee up and this foot. It really helps the low back and the
Well, next one is bridging, Brad.
Oh yes, the bridge. Cannot forget the bridge. So here, and this works in bed as long as your feet don't slip on the sheets. And we're just gonna push up like this, and usually you go up until you get even in line like this.
So we're getting the hamstring and the buttocks a little bit here. The thing about this, even though you're getting some bend to the knee, it's very minimal. So again, you should be able to tolerate this without having increased pain. If you're having increased pain, I really don't want you doing it. You could actually maybe move the leg out a little bit further if it's the painful one and see if it feels better that way.
Sure.
You can experiment with how much knee bend you have on it. So,
On the other hand, if you feel it's too easy, you could cross like this, and that emphasizes that right side or the painful side more. It's a little more advanced.
Sure, excellent, Brad. Okay, next one, clamshells. Now, people are going to wonder, how am I even strengthening the knee on this? And you really aren't. What we're strengthening are the external rotators of the hip. And for a lot of people, what happens is their hip is weak and the knee starts going in like this, and that puts extra stress on the knee.
Sure.
So we're going to strengthen the hip with the idea that you're going to put the knee in a better place when you're walking and jumping or running or doing anything. And now we're going to go ahead and do hip abduction, Brad. So you're on your side. Okay. And the same thing again here. You're strengthening the hip and you're strengthening the knee a bit too.
Right, because the abductors are connected to the IT band, directly connected to the knee.
Which goes across the knee.
Watch my foot.
Yep.
If I do that, it's not right. We need to turn the toe towards the camera, towards you, and work that. And this is pretty aggressive.
Again, if your hip is weak and it's making you walk a little kitty wampus, a Trendelenburg as we call it in the business, it's going to put more stress on that knee.
Right.
Why don't you go ahead and finish with doing extensions, Brad, laying on your stomach.
Okay. There we go.
Again, now we're getting a little bit isometric again on the hamstring a little bit, and you get a little bit on the buttock. Again, all these are working together to keep you nice and stable when you're walking or doing your daily living activities, and it helps take some of the stress off the knee. All right, these are the advanced ones now, and this is the one actually that I actually had my wife doing and I do. I love doing squats, shallow squats, but I love using a ball. I just think it's just a lot better way to do them.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest with you.
It gives you good control, and you can advance the resistance very easily.
And one thing I want to make sure is that you got good grippy shoes on so that you're not going to go sliding out, because I actually have my feet out quite far from the wall. I don't want to be like this, because when I go down, I got too much of an angle here. Brad, I'm going to do it correctly first. See, I'm squatting down, and then my knee never goes past the toe. Mm-hmm. Now, if I go like this, and it's back too far, now look at that. The knee's going past the toe, and that hurts. I can feel the stress on the knee.
That's going to make your knee worse.
Yeah. So you go out like this. And the other thing is, I don't want your knees going in or out.
Yeah.
I want them right over the feet.
Good alignment.
I do these, and I go down. I don't squat real deep. Yeah, you can hold on to something if you have trouble.
Yeah, when you first start, that's a good way to start. Some more stability.
And, even if you're having a meniscus problem or cartilage problem, if you only go down this far, you're really not putting a lot of stress on that either.
Right.
So even if you have arthritis, most people can do these.
Right.
It's just a little more advanced. What I like to do with these, the way I do these, bro, I just did them last night. I go down like this, and then I go like this, and I squeeze my shoulder blades together. I always like to get a double exercise.
Yeah, that's right.
Now we're going to go ahead and give the ball to Brad, and he's going to show how to strengthen the hamstrings in kind of an advanced method here.
I'm going to dribble the ball, Bob. Here, you want to hold on to that?
There we go.
Okay, this is my favorite hamstring exercise, I think. I'm not sure yet, but I think it is. I really do like it because it really isolates, and I'm going to bridge up like this and just roll the ball towards you. Sometimes I have patients, I say, can you roll the ball towards me? And they'll go like this. Well, that's not the way to do it. It's just a simple, smooth roll.
You're digging your heels in.
Yep. Now, this will be pretty aggressive to start out with. You may want to just lift your butt up an inch or even just a little bit and roll it towards you. That will work the hamstrings. And as you get stronger, as I just had a person with an ACL replacement, and he started out like this, and within a couple weeks, he was up like this.
I was going to say, you could even do it without lifting your buttock at all, right, Brad? And just push down into the ball?
Yep, you can.
I mean,
just
if you're really beginner.
It's hard to see for the camera, but right now my hamstrings are working. Now,
this is a good one, especially for people who have arthritis in their knee. But what you're going to do is you're going to put your leg up on a stool, and what you're going to do is, this is especially if you are lacking full extension, if your knee isn't straightening out all the way. With arthritis, any little gain you can make is going to decrease the pain, they have found. Because what you're doing now is, if you can increase the motion in the joint, you're spreading the forces out more.
Right.
If you're just moving in a small range, it's wearing out the knee at that one spot.
Sure.
So what we're going to do, again, if you're lacking knee extension at all, I don't care even if you don't have arthritis, this is a good one for you to do. So you can do pressure on, pressure off.
Yep.
And you actually say the words, because that tells you how long you're going to do it.
Right, it's kind of a built-in timer.
Right. Pressure on, pressure off.
Now you could kind of sing it.
Pressure on, pressure off.
Yeah, we can make
that was awful. And what's nice about this is it's very easy to do throughout the day.
Sure.
You can be at the office and you just put your foot up on, your neighbor's desk or neighbor's chair, and just go ahead and do a few of these. In fact, that's how these work out better, is if you do them like every hour or every, throughout the day, you're going to get better results. And you can do 10 of them.
Sure. Yep. So, probably 10's enough.
Yep, 10 will be enough to start off. If your knee is not bending as far as, the non-painful
Right,
knee.
if it's stuck and you only got about this far and it should go up to here, if you can regain that range of motion.
It's going to decrease the pain. Also, if you are having trouble with meniscus, I have found with people sometimes if they have trouble with their meniscus tear or maybe a piece of the meniscus is floating around there, sometimes this kind of readjusts things. I've seen this happen more than once, Brad.
Okay, show it.
So what you're going to do is you're going to get a chair and you're going to work on, this is a Mulligan technique. We're going to give credit to Brian Mulligan. And what you're going to do is you're actually going to do a movement here. You're going to grab onto the lower leg and you're going to turn it counterclockwise.
Sure.
Now that's for the right leg. For the left leg, you'd be turning it clockwise. I'll show both.
Right, so he's going to actually
So I'm grabbing like this and I'm turning the lower bone this way
towards the big toe.
towards the big toe. That's a good way to put it on whatever leg you're on,
Right, 'cause
towards the big toe.
The big toe is usually on the inside.
And keeping pressure the whole time, I'm bending the knee. And I'm trying to bend as far as they'll go,
Right.
pain-free. Again, 10 times, pain-free. If you can only go this far, pain-free, just go that far.
Yep.
If you can go all the way down, go all the way down.
As long as it's pain-free.
So again, obviously on the other side, I'm going to go clockwise now. I'm going towards the big toe, and I'm bending the knee. Okay, you can also just do regular stretches of the knee into flexion. You can, lay on your back,
Oh,
and you can go ahead and just pull the knee up into flexion like
Sure,
this too.
yep.
Just regular stretches. Pressure on, pressure off, pressure on, pressure off. All right. Foam roller is another possibility, right, Brad?
Sure.
This is one of our favorite ones. It's a little less dense. It's softer.
all right, so I'm going to work here. Now, you're not going to roll over your kneecap. That's going to be uncomfortable and irritate things.
But by stretching out this muscle, again, you're taking some of the stress off the knee, and especially, again, like a quadriceps tendonitis, it's going to feel a lot better.
And then you're going to want to make sure that you roll. You can see I'm doing the inner part of the quadricep, and then over the middle part, and then over on the side as well. So you get all those fibers.
Do you want to maybe just go ahead and catch the next two right away, Brad,
Sure.
too? The IT band,
So we're talking way up into here.
right in that muscle there. Yep.
Roll that all the way up down that IT band here. And this is where I need to unweight myself a little bit because it can be a little tender.
You really can't stretch the band, but the band, by stretching it, you're stretching the muscle. Finally, Brad, why don't you do the hamstring, too?
All right. So we're going to just roll this. And oftentimes if you cross one on the other, you will get a more aggressive stretch or soft tissue work with that massage or with that roller. And I like to get right up to the buttock area where that ischial tuberosity where it connects that from the muscle to the bone.
So if you don't have a foam roller, you certainly can stretch these without it. We can do an IT band. You can actually hit this by even against the wall like this. You can stretch like this,
Yep.
and then you can cross over like this. I'm stretching this one, and you can look at how I can really put pressure on there.
Sure.
Really get a good stretch on it. Show a quad stretch, Brad?
Sure. Yep. If you've got good balance, use something to hold on to if you've got a balance problem. As long as you're capable of stretching like this, those quadriceps will stretch really nice.
If your quads are really tight, they're going to pull on that kneecap, and it's going to grind it up some more. So it's important that this is you can just stretch this muscle out.
Right. If the knee's up like here, it won't be stretching. You want to bring it down here, but not like this either. Good tall posture, knee down, everything in line, and then you're going to feel those quads stretch right there.
Yep. And you
Be careful about a hamstring cramp because
Yeah.
some people will cramp up here. And you pull like this, and that will stretch. You'll definitely feel it stretching the quadriceps. Even better if you do have a stretch out strap like this.
or a yoga strap.
How this makes it a lot easier to do. You can go in it. And the nice thing about these are straps is they got loops. So you can put your hand in, which even makes an issue. Or if you're not, it's just easier one way or another. You can just see how easy right now.
Tensor fascia lata.
yes.
There we go. Good job, Brad. I blanked out on it for a minute. And a good way to stretch that, Brad, is just to actually lay down. And you can do this with a stretch out strap, Brad, but you can also just bring the leg up and you're going to bring it over to the side here. And I'm now that's stretching here. And you can hit different angles of the TFL
of the IT band, you know, attaching to TFL by how you move it.
Right, so in other words, you're saying if you bring the leg up this way further or down this way.
All right, next one, Brad. Hamstring and heel cord stretches. You want to show a hamstring stretch?
You better believe it. My favorite one is I just simply like to go up to something about this height. A stairwell is nice with a handrail, I remember it now, and keep the back straight and just lean into it. I'm getting a good stretch right now. Don't get all caught up in rounding your back and trying to touch your nose to your toes, your knee, or whatever. That's not what you want. Good posture, stretch it out. Are you going to show that, Bob?
Yeah, I thought I would.
That is a nice tool for this.
Yeah, but anyway, this is a stretch out strap. It's from OPTP. And this works out really well for doing hamstring stretches because you can just put it on here and you can grab through the handles here, and it's just real easy to pull up and do a stretch. Easy on your back.
Sure.
And
Yep.
you can do...
Keep the knee straight as
straight.
you can to emphasize hamstring stretching.
and you can do contract, relax, where you actually pull, push down, and as you relax, you pull it up further.
Sure,
So
yeah.
you push down, then relax, push down, relax. So this is the contract, and this is the relax.
Yeah, and that will give you more range of motion and more flexibility.
How about a heel cord stretch, Brad? The heel, a lot of people don't realize the calf muscle actually crosses over the knee too, so you want to make sure that you're doing that too. So
Right, so he's saying right here, the gastroc goes up over the knee joint, crosses the knee joint, and we want to keep that muscle loose as well. This is my favorite way, although a lot of people don't have an incline board. And I'm going to keep my knee straight till I get that gastroc muscle that does cross the knee, and I can bend the knee. If I don't have one of these, you know, you can simply go against the wall or a chair and stretch it like this. There's a little more work, doesn't work quite as well. Oh, so we're stretching there, and make sure you do both legs, otherwise you start walking in circles. You could take a towel roll like this, and you're going to put it underneath your knee. Now, you're going to do this on the floor. It won't work very well on a bed, so a carpeted floor is ideal. And you're going to take that towel roll so you have your knee has something to have a fulcrum against. And then they're short arc quads because we're just doing a short arc.
we're starting off slow here, because,
Right.
and the thing is, you really want to do these pain-free.
If you happen to have a 6-inch roll that you use for other things, that works actually better yet than anything. They really do work well for this.
Versatile.
Yep.
We're going to do just simple squats. So I want your feet shoulder width or a little bit wider, weight on your heels and, you know, evenly dispersed on your feet. Posture good with your back, head, chin back. And I'm just going to start with squats down. Now, we're not going to worry about knee position. If you want to go over your toes, we're going to go over the toes if it doesn't hurt your knees.
Right. Stay in the pain-free range.
Exactly. Now, this is something that Bob and I, if your balance is off, have something, a piece of furniture, a stick, whatever, to hold on to the wall. Go down, pain-free range, and go up. You know, if you're more advanced, you go down as far as you feel comfortable. We're going to do 10.
And to make sure your posture's right, you might use the stick as a guide.
If your balance is good, you take a stick 4 or 5 foot long, touching
And
the head.
He's going to have 3 points of contact: the head, the mid-back, and the pelvis.
Right. There.
If any one of those is not touching, there's a reason. You're showing bad posture.
What we're doing with motion here,
Yes.
and it's a little different than the split squat, but they're very similar.
This is more knees over toes, and
Yeah.
right. tend
So
to be.
you bring your knees over the toes if it's not painful.
Right.
Go down and up. Now, I like to do the option of stepping backwards because it works the muscles differently. I'm going to use my cane over here and go back. Yeah, and you
Stay
may
in the pain-free range.
you may only be going this far, and that's okay. You know, give it a week or two, and you'll be
That's
going
okay
a
with
little
us.
deeper. You absolutely excellent. Now, you show the split squats. Bob.
All right. So again, in this case, now you can keep the knees behind the toes if you want. You can do it both ways. I do it both ways, Brad. I go like this.
Sure.
And I go forward too.
Yep.
But you can go down, just dip down as far as you feel comfortable.
Yep.
You can go all the way down to the floor if you feel comfortable.
Sure.
And you obviously do both sides.
Yeah. So Bob's holding on to this. At
Right.
home, you use the bed.
Or a couch.
Yeah, if you just want to hold, use a wall, whatever you need to stay safe and work things without falling. This is one I like to do in the wintertime when I'm not riding my bicycle to maintain my leg strength for climbing hills on a bike. But, whatever, and this is there. So I put my foot on a chair behind me.
So you're working the leg in front, right? All right.
And this makes quite a difference in the
Makes it a
intensity
little more difficult.
on here. Oh yeah. Plus you're getting a hip flexor stretch here. It's a double whammy.
It's a bonus.
That's right. So look at my posture. I'm here. I'm not doing this. Yep. And
How
down.
many of these do you do, Brad?
I only do 10.
10?
10 on a
And
leg.
Like every other day or
3 times a week.
3 times a week?
Yep.
So,
Yeah. And I have my other regimen. But if you wanted to do more, you could.
sure. Single best knee strengthening exercises at home.
That's right, Bob. Hamstrings, quadriceps, calf muscle, and we're going to improve balance as well. We're going to start, you don't necessarily need something to hold on for a balance. I got a booyah stick. You could use a cane. You could use a wall, piece of
You can use
furniture.
furniture. That's what I use all the time.
Yep. So what I'm going to do, start with your feet about shoulder width wide. And we're going to step back. I'm going to go through it slowly first and explain a little bit. Step back into a lunge, good posture. And you're going to go down as far as you feel comfortable, but don't bang your kneecap into the floor because that hurts. So we're just going down to within an inch or two of that. Now the next step is, and that's why I need something to balance here because I'm going slow especially, I'm going to bring this up. And I'm going to flex my hip as high as I feel comfortable, and then look down here at this foot. I'm going to add up on my heel rise, so I'm up on my toes or forefoot, and that's important because that's going to help that calf, and it's going to stress your balance and give you a little balance exercise as well.
And in this case, what you might have seen with Brad, he now has support on both sides.
Exactly. So back to here, up, and to here. And then what you do is once you feel comfortable with it, you continue to do it as many reps as you feel comfortable. If you wanted to make it more difficult because it's becoming too easy.
It's pretty difficult already, Brad.
Yeah. Well, eliminate one side and it'll
Sure.
make it this way, you know.
And you're working on your balance even more.
You can see how I'm stressed a little bit with my balance when I take my both hands off. You could put an ankle weight on.
Sure.
Give you a little more resistance. I think most people will be pretty fine without any of it.
Right.
I'm starting to breathe. Make sure you do it both legs. And
Yes.
up and down. This is kind of more probably see this exercise mostly in therapy, but maybe not. It's just simple step-ups. And when I do this, I'm teaching body mechanics, but it is working the glutes, and we're just doing it on one leg. You can go to some stairs and just stand up like this. But this one, you're really focusing on keeping things in line because a lot of people have that tendency to go in that way, just like that. You'll see a little arc. So we want to train the muscles to do this and keep in line up.
And again, the knee is trying to not go past the toe, so there's a
Right.
lot of things to think about.
Yeah,
But,
this is much harder to do it properly. And then one other thing I want you to know is look at this leg. I'm not trying to touch with my toe because that's cheating. That doesn't do near as much work. This works the quads well as the glute. But I have my patients pull my toes up, keep everything in line, and just touch the floor. And that's going to work the right leg much better, the glutes, and really the quads as well. Cross over like this, grab this knee, and then pull, and you can see how the white lines on my pants, represent that IT band, and I'm pulling and stretching that, and just like that. Now you can do it on the floor, you can do it, sitting down, and you're just going to hold that for 30 seconds, 3 times.
This is just like a dog going on a fire hydrant. So,
Hands and knees, or we call it quadruped.
Yep, and what you're doing, you're lifting up the leg like,
And Bob's holding it. You hold it for just a second or two, and then come down with good control.
I don't have the greatest external rotation, do I, Brad?
Well, you're a little tight there, Bob,
Yep.
but that's all right. So we're working a lot of hip muscles, and all this is, you wonder why we work in the hip with the knee. It's because the IT band, right, where this white line is, connects to that knee, and we need to stabilize the hip properly. Pelvic drop. This is an interesting one.
Yes, it is.
you can go back on the steps if you hopefully have them steps or a stool like this. You're going to want to hold something on this one for balance, handrail, stick, furniture, chair that you can move and hold onto the backrest. Now, this knee stays locked. Okay, this would be the sore knee, and that stays locked. Now, watch what happens with my hip right here. I'm going to drop it down and bring it up. So what
Real
we're
subtle movement.
Yep. You'll feel it after you do 10 of these with good control like this. It's working your hip abductor, the glute medius, which is real important stabilizer with your
Right.
hips, which is going to help control that knee and forces through that knee as well. 2 sets of 15 of these.
10-second hold.
Brad, we're going to talk about 7 advanced stretches to increase knee bend after a knee replacement.
Right.
Now, these aren't the basic ones. These are going to go beyond, we're not doing floor scrubs and stuff like that. We're doing things that are going to get you further.
Right.
Talk about the first one, Brad. This is an advanced one. This is the knee glide. We're going to use this. This is a device for helping increase your knee flexion, and you can actually use it to increase your knee extension too, the straightening out.
It works both
So
directions.
we're just talking about flexion today,
Right.
aren't we? So what's nice about this, Brad, I'm going to tell a story. I had a patient who we saw for actually quite a few weeks, and we were trying to increase her knee bend, and we couldn't get beyond 90 or 72 degrees.
72. That's
We just couldn't.
It's
So
just not acceptable.
About like that, isn't it? Maybe 72?
Sure.
And so
Let's use the other knee.
we didn't have the knee glide, so we started using the knee glide on her. This is actually, she came back, and we started using the knee glide on her, and we got her to 95.
All right, so 72 is right there, Bob. We'll come back out. So that was where she was, and look where she got to, way up into here.
And it just, it was just so much easier to apply pressure to the knee without causing stress to the knee than it was what we normally were, the way we were doing it. Plus, we sent one of these home with her. That didn't hurt either.
And then she probably was more compliant to do it at home because
Yeah.
she knows she needs to use this. But the whole thing is it's got a plastic foot plate, and someone who designed it did a really nice job. They got some kind of like
Aluminum.
an aluminum rail, it must be, and they slide that back and forth, and there's just very little friction on it.
Right, it's very little resistance. And also, if you're a little bit uncomfortable with the foot flat, you can also angle it up like this.
Which-
and now you got a little bit of gravity working for you.
Right, right.
So what I like about this, Brad, is that you can actually start off. You're going to start off. You can go ahead and put your heel on the toe.
Right.
And you can start pushing it back. And then.
So he's using his good leg to
Oh, I'm
help
sorry.
push.
Normally you start this way, don't you?
Right.
Yeah. Normally you start your ankle to ankle.
Yep.
Is what you are.
Right.
And you're going to start pushing it back. And then it gets too far where this doesn't get effective anymore. Now you put your heel on the toe.
Sure.
And you can go back even further. It's called the knee glide.
Knee glide.
Well, next one, Brad, we're going to talk about is using a belt,
Right.
your own belt or a stretch out strap. And what I like about the stretch out strap, it's got multiple loops here, and these are really inexpensive.
Right. So every 6 inches or so, there's a loop where you can use it for various things, which you'll see, mostly for handholds.
Yeah. And so what you can do is just, you can take one of the loops and run it through like that. And now, depending on what kind of chair you're in, Brad, you can just go down, through the loops here, all the way around like this. And now, if you don't have a knee glide, you can put the towel on the floor.
Sure. That works okay.
But since we got the knee glide here, let's use it. So now, I can go ahead and pull back and give me a little extra pressure.
Right. Can you see back? You got that, Lonnie, back here?
What's nice about the loops here, I don't even have to use my hands, Brad. I
Yeah.
can just push forward like this. Now, what's nice about this is you can do what we call contract relax.
All by yourself.
Yeah, all by yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull on this, and while I'm pulling, I'm pushing, like I'm trying to straighten them.
Action.
Yeah, I'm trying to straighten the knee, and then, but I'm not letting it go. I'm not letting it go straight at all.
He's holding it with
Yeah.
the strap.
If I wasn't holding it with the strap, it would go like this.
Sure.
I'm going to go straight forward. So I'm going to push, and then when I relax, I pull it a little bit further.
And how long are you going to push?
Push, I don't know, a few seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not minutes or
Yeah.
anything. 5 to 10
And
seconds.
relax, push, and relax, push, and relax. And then I might even go another loop down, Brad, here, because I'm starting to lose my leverage.
Yep, there you go.
Push and relax. It just, that contract relax really works. It's a really good technique to do. You could hook up a belt, and take it around, and also put a towel on the floor if you
Sure.
don't have all these
Right.
devices.
Exactly.
Sure that
Yep.
you
You
have
bet.
some other methods here.
Precisely.
Brad, do you want to show the ball? You fit on the ball better than I do.
The beauty of the ball.
Beauty
Bob.
of the ball.
The beauty, and I've been
not
doing.
forget that.
I've been using this with knee patients. I put them in the parallel bars so they have something to hold on
yeah,
to
you
on
need
both
two
sides.
chairs, don't you?
Yep. If you do this at home, if it works good with the patient in the parallel bars and they really like it, then oftentimes they'll get their own ball. They'll go down and spend $15, $20 on one downtown, and they'll put furniture in their house so they got something to hold on to. Normally, I would put it right here, but so you can see what's going on, I'm going to put it here. So very stable, something to hold on to with both hands. Make sure the ball's got enough air in it so you're not sinking too far down. And you plant, if this is my new knee, I'm going to pull it up like that. If this is as far as it bends, we rock into it, stretch and back. Stretch and back. You'll get a little bit farther each time. Bouncing too, so you're getting at it from two different angles, horizontally and vertically.
And let's grab the wheelchair, Brad. Bring that over.
Oh, yes.
Now you want to do that on the edge
Yep.
here? Want me to be in?
Yep.
So if you have a wheelchair available, this works out really good. You go ahead and just put the foot up against there. I guess really I should put this one and do it on this one.
Yeah, probably.
All right, and what's nice about this is I'm in control. The patient's in control.
Exactly,
and they can
right. Precisely.
And they can gradually work on bending that knee further and further, and with using the wheels, the
Right.
large wheels here.
With this hand control on the wheels, you've got a tremendous amount of leverage.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot of energy to put a fair amount of force on it. And again, you're in complete control.
Well, then what we used to do, Brad, is we used to do this and then lock it.
Oh.
And then let it stretch for a little bit.
Sure, yep.
But again, I become more of a believer in the pressure on, pressure off, Brad.
Sure.
I mean, I seem to get a little more with that, but sometimes throw in a little bit of sustained stretch in there.
Sure.
All right, next one, Brad. I have found this in quite a few cases, especially when people get stuck. And Lonnie, you're going to have to kind of do a close-up here of this.
Yeah.
The kneecap quite often sometimes gets asphyxiated down, or it's just not moving like it should. And if the kneecap is not tracking right or moving like it should, it's going to stop your knee bend from happening. So what you're going to do is you got to be very relaxed to do this.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just not going to work. But I'm trying to push the kneecap down. I'm pushing it down this way using my thumbs.
Like this. So you're not going to do this with your knee bent. It's got to be out like this.
Yeah, straightened. And then you can also push it off to the side. You're going to push it in every direction, Brad.
Right. Forward, right, left,
Yep.
and pull it up towards you.
Yep. And that's just going to loosen it up so that it's going to move a lot better. And another part is the scar tissue itself. Sometimes the scar tissue can get scarred down and it can cause a little bit of pulling and pain. And now this one, we want to caution you though, this is one you wouldn't do until quite a
few weeks.
Yeah. That scar has to be healed. There's no openings. There's
Exactly.
you want to maybe okay it with your doctor first.
Right.
Say, can I work on my scar tissue? And so, what you're going to do is you're just going to go, if there's a scar here, you're going to work across the scar like this. You're rubbing across. Sometimes you rub it in different directions, Brad, but generally it's just going across like this.
It just.
Well, it flattens
Really
the scar out too.
Yeah, it does.
If your scar is bumpy or whatever,
Yep.
this tends to help that too. So, all right, next one, Brad, is the stairs. You want to get our stairs
bet.
out? You want to show this one, Brad?
Sure, I'm kind of lined up for it. So if you have a stairway at home and you need to have two handrails, okay, you could try it with one, but I really recommend two. And we don't have an official staircase, but you can see this represents the first step, the second step. These are going to represent the handrails. So you have to get a hold of the handrails so you're steady, and you put your knee up to whatever level is
You're gonna be able to
comfortable.
tolerate.
You might only start at the first one, and then you just simply go in, and you can see the bend in that knee right there. I'm going to stretch till it stretches, stretch, ouch, it hurts a little bit, and then come back. Pressure on, pressure off. Now, there are some theories where they like to hold a stretch for 30 seconds straight.
Yeah, you can do a little bit of
Yep.
both too. You can do pressure on,
Sure.
pressure off,
Yep.
and also.
As long as I'm making progress, I continue with what's working. And then if it gets better, you can go to the top one, And you can see, you can get quite a bit of a flexion in there. So when you're at that higher level and you really want to get to the maximum range, this works really well. You're not going to do this one a week afterward. This is going to be a few weeks after.
Today we're going to talk about how to use a massage gun for knee pain relief.
Sure.
So if you have knee pain, we're not going to massage right on the knee itself, with one little exception. But we're going to massage the muscles downstream, which is the muscles that come up and attach around the knee joint, or upstream, the muscles that are attached around the knee joint.
Right.
So that we're going to hit kind of 6 spots. So, but I would actually go up. I used the air-filled one.
Yeah, so it's a little
very softer. And I'd actually go right up to the kneecap and hit the top part of the kneecap.
So that'd be right where the tendon technically connects to the patella.
Right.
Yep.
And I had 80% relief within 2 days.
Really?
I couldn't believe
Yeah, I
it.
remember that.
Because I was trying everything else. I was trying eccentric exercises.
Sure.
And handheld massage. It just doesn't do the job.
Sure.
So-
Now, you think you could use the ball
You could try the ball.
and maybe do a cross
Yes.
fiber like
Show
this?
that, Brad. Absolutely.
So, with the gun, it it travels back and forth this way, and if you put the ball head on like this, well, you can go sideways with it, and that gives a cross friction massage. And
But pretty gentle.
Yep.
I mean, it's tolerable.
Yep. So Bob was going like this. We're going to go like this. Now, if you go like this with a ball, it's going to be more aggressive. It may be
gonna bump
painful.
along.
Yep. And I'm not even going to get close to my kneecap. This way
Sure.
is much more comfortable. So it's an option.
Yes. And by the way, this is not red. I put some red tape on it, so did Brad, so you can see against our dark pants
Right,
what
yeah.
we're doing here. So the next one, quadricep, obviously the big muscle, 4 muscles that are
Especially mine, Bob.
yeah, especially yours. Especially they play a large role in knee pain. So we want to make sure that they're not tight, and we're going to want to make sure. A lot of times you might do this massage before and after a workout
Sure.
even.
Yep.
So we're going to go ahead. You can start, hit all 4 quadrants here as far as the massage, but you can also include flossing,
Sure.
which is basically, now you could slide your foot on a slippery floor, I suppose, Brad, but we're actually going to use either the knee glide or the fit glide. The knee glide is for one single knee, used quite often after knee replacements. But the fit glide, you can actually work both legs at the same time. You can actually get into some fitness with it out of it too. So this is a great way, again, if you have surfaces that are kind of adhesed down, you push right on the surface and you're getting movement while you're doing the massage, and actually can break up those adhesions.
Now, don't get us wrong. You don't have to have one of these devices. You could have
No.
a smooth floor with a towel on it or
Or
whatever.
a garbage bag, I suppose, would work too, right?
Yeah, if you're on carpet. Back in the old days, we used to take
A washcloth.
no, if you had carpet, you,
Sheet pan.
a sheet pan,
yeah.
cookie pan,
Cookie pan, yeah.
but make sure you clean it before you make the
Cookies.
chocolate chip cookies.
No.
But that works.
Now, the same holds true for the hamstring. You got 3 muscles in the hamstring. The same thing. You can hit the hamstring like this and work it along there, but you can also do flossing with that, which is, that's one of the big advantages of what the knee glide and the fit glide.
Yeah.
You can,
Well, with either one, particularly the hamstring, when it's starting to feel better,
Right.
if you can put it at an angle, this really will make the hamstrings work as you massage it, and that's going to change you. You could do it. Bob has it the other way around, where
and it kind of help the hamstring while you're trying to do it.
he's going downhill, I'm going uphill, if you will.
So we've hit the suprapatellar pouch, we hit the quadricep, we hit the hamstring. Now the calf muscle, actually the one gastrocnemius does cross over the knee.
Yep.
Don't hit right in the back of the knee, the popliteal fossa. There's a lot of nerve, artery, and veins there. You can hit right in the top part of the calf, but don't go right behind the knee.
Yep.
Now, this is one I do every day because my calves have been so sore. I've been really working them lately, and I started going back to standing at my desk, Brad.
Yep.
And it's amazing what a difference it makes,
Sure.
how much they're working. So, again, if these muscles are not real tight and they're loosened and pliable, they're going to put less stress on the knee. All right, so we hit the calf muscle. You could also do a little flossing with this. I mean, you could just go like this,
Sure,
and back
yeah.
and forth.
Up and down like
Let's
this.
go talk about the IT band now, Brad. So
Bob,
we got the tensor fascia lata, which is a muscle. It attaches into the iliotibial band, which crosses all the way down. It crosses the knee, goes into the fibula, I believe.
It's just like that.
Yeah, just like that stripe. It does help to massage it to loosen up the adhesions, and so you can get some more motion, and will put less stress on the knee, because you get a lot of people get runner's knee. Or biking from this. If they bike, they get a lot of overuse injury.
Yeah, especially if your bike may not be adjusted properly as far as the seat height. There's not a lot of muscle on this part of the thigh, so you may not want to go in too aggressively and maybe work at an angle or just turn the gun down.
Or use the air-filled one again.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, a lot of options.
all right, final muscle group we're going to hit are the hip adductors. That's on the inside of the thigh, kind of going up to the groin. If they're tight, they can cause your knees to be knock-kneed, which can cause pain if they're not being in the right shape. So you can just work along the inner thigh and work the muscle groups there.